Across the world, some camps are small and informal, others are large and structured. But every camp greets campers to their site, provides shelter, food service, leadership, and program. The ICF Camp Study Tour videos attempt to capture the common elements of all camps, as well as the differences that leadership, philosophy, geography, and culture bring to the world of camping.
Today, we are off to Mexico to meet my friend Ursula.
Welcome to Camp Santa-Ursuла. My complete name is Ursula Mартинес Лавин, and I am the current director for Camp Santa-Ursuла.
Great.
So you are very welcome to our camp.
And a place that we are all very excited to see. We have seen some parts of Santa-Ursula in our Thanks to Camp video.
Yes.
And it is very exciting. So it'll be wonderful to have a director-to-director tour around camp. But let's start with your tour, your journey. Can you tell us how did you get to the chair and to the camp where you are now? What has your camp life been?
Okay. Yeah, I will tell you a little bit about the story. My parents started this camp, and I was 6 years old by then. So I was a camper for so many years. So then I became, as all the story in many of the camps, I started like a counselor in training. Then I was a counselor. Then I started to helping my dad and all the staff in the administration. And then I became the director.
Great. So some of the general details, where you're located and the terrain and some of the physical parts of camp.
Sure, for sure. Okay, San Luis Potosí is a big state, which is located right in the center of the country. Our state has the shape of a doggy, okay? And we are North Mexico City, and our weather is a dry weather. It's not as hot as in the north part of Mexico. We have a great weather for camping because we get some rain, but not much of it. So it allows us to do all the season very nicely. We usually do the high peak season from mid-May to mid-August.
Take us back to the beginning. Your mother and father, and it's passed through to you. Can you describe the camp mission, the philosophy? What brought you into camping, and what keeps you in camping?
Okay. When this property was acquired, it was a farm for cows, and there was just about 20 trees, maybe, and small house, like what we call a pila, which is for the watering system, and that was it. So we never imagined, my dad never imagined having a camp. But what happened is that long ago, there weren't many attractions in the city. So some kids, friends, cousins came over the weekend, and we had a wonderful time together. So then came the idea about working for the kids, okay? And my dad started to convert some of the facilities. For example, this water deposit that was used for the watering system of the trees and what was, I don't know how to say in English, but what the animals eat. We call it alfalfa, the weed.
Yes, of course, alfalfa, perfect.
Yeah, there's a lot of alfalfa production in the zone. So this water deposit became a pool, and then a small river for rowing, then the horseback riding. But something very essential about Camp Santa-Ursula is the motor racing love. So my dad was a driver for formulas when he was young, and this is like a family passion. So my granddad gave us some, go-karts for all the cousins, and we had a wonderful time. So my dad had to build like a small track, and then that was a very attractive thing for many kids. So all friends will call my dad, why don't you take the kids again for this weekend? And why don't you take them again for the next weekend? And that's how the idea of how the camp started to work.
It sounds like he created a camp before there was a camp.
Exactly. And then, there started to come many necessities about surrounding all the terrain, having much more security, and growing in many facilities. So that was the beginning. So we were founded on 1979, and say about half of the time my dad was the director, and half of the time with my mom, and half of the time I've been the director. And of course, our mission is to create the best experiences, okay? We need to create fun experiences, formative experiences, but most of all, memorable experiences for everyone that visits us. And it has to be in a unique place, okay?
It sounds like it's a unique place at Santa-Ursula.
Yeah. But the real mission after this is creating a better society for Mexico. Okay?
That's what we all wish for, isn't it? That we are really preparing children not to be in camp, but to be in society. And to make it
like a more conscious society, concerned about nature, about well-being for everybody, and that's the real mission. No, we achieve it through these great experiences.
Okay, I'm very excited to go on our little tour of camp. But can we start at the front gate? How or does it start in the city? How am I going to arrive at camp?
We always start in the door of the camp. Okay, we usually don't include any transportation to the camp. Every children. So before the pandemic, we used to go to the airport and pick some children that their parents could not take to the door. Okay, but that usually it's an arrangement that every family has to do. It's something we don't get in charge of. Okay, so we receive children in the gate. And depending of the type of camp is the different admission. For example, for the summer, which is like our, how can I call it? It's like of top of the camp service, because I say top of the camp because it's the longest one, sure, and where we can include all of our activities. Okay, so families arrive to the door and we do a camp tour. Mm-hmm. We can do it like in a golf car, or we can do it by walking, depending on the time family has. And they get to know all the camp.
Excuse me, this is the parents and the children?
The parents and the children, okay. Yeah. The first day of arrival of every session. I'm talking about the summer, because for schools, right, it's quicker, it's different. Schools come from all over the country, and they usually come by bus, and they all come together with some of their teachers. So they just arrive in the door, and we do the admission part, and that's it, okay? But for the summer, we do tours for the parents, because they just love it. And then they leave the children. We already have the teams assigned, and they leave. They leave, and we get in charge. But it's a very important day, the first day of every summer session.
I'm hungry. Let's go. So off to the kitchen and food service. And I would like to tell us how that works in the kitchen, behind the scenes, as well as my experience out in the main room.
Okay, perfect. Well, behind the scenes, we have a chef, and like a major chef. Then we have like a bread chef, a dessert chef. The food at camp is real good. It's really, really good. One of our strong parts of camp is the food. Children really love it. Okay, so behind the scenes, we have about 20 people working in the kitchen, and what children get in turns. It's a buffet serving. Okay, so they get in turns. By teams, they pass, they put their meals, and they sit in the table. In the kitchen, in the dining room, there's a lot of things going on, because we have like a Mexican night, an Italian night. Every meal is different. we have like some like movie nights, and so everybody has to dress up, and there's always a lot of fun things going on. Okay, so once you have your meal, you have to go and put your plates, and then plates are washed, and after you can go to have some rest time after the meals.
Great. All right. So, what is my favorite meal at camp? Or what are some of the meals that are most popular?
Well, you know, children love pizza. Children love pizza, but there's Japanese food. The Japanese night is very well accepted among everybody. And something very special about Camp Santa-Úrsula is we have a Mexican bread called concha, which looks like a shell, like a seashell. But it's got like kind of, very fine sugar on the top, making the form of a shell. And it's very traditional in Mexico, but the bread here in Santa-Úrsula is homemade. So the conchas is something everybody likes. So it's like something very favorite for all the children. Okay?
That's great.
But
is it a sweet? Is it a dessert?
Yeah, it's sweet. Yeah, it's sweet bread.
Great.
It's not a dessert, but we usually serve it in the breakfast or in the dinner.
Take us through the daytime. What are some of the daytime activities and the way the daytime routine will work?
Sure. Okay, so wake up time is 8:00 in the morning. They have to clean cabins, rooms, because everything is a competition and everything can gain points to your team. Okay, so you have to put your room very nice. Okay, and then breakfast is 8:40. So we go into breakfast by blocks, and we have to go singing and see which blocks gets the better cheers and everything. No, and then. As I said, after each meal, we have some time to rest, go brush teeth and everything. And then activities start at 10 a.m. So we have 3 morning activities, then snack time for everybody. And then we have, 2 activities, snack time, third activity, and then pools, aquatic activity for everybody. Okay, so we have different attractions. We have different pools, different water slides, and inflatables and everything, okay?
But so the whole camp is focused on the water for the same period of time.
Yeah. So what happens in rest time and in aquatic time is that all staff gets a position to be watching. We have a guard role, and they know their position. So every children can go to one or another pool. Okay, and then children that don't want to get into the water, they have other options of activities, the playroom or some workshops, etc.
Right.
Okay, then comes lunchtime. For us in Mexico, lunchtime is usually later than you. We usually have lunch at 2:15. Okay, after lunch comes an absolute time. Absolute time, we got that word from a Russian camp. In the school camps, it's rest time for about 30, 40 minutes. They go into the rooms, they have a talk, they have like a very not very dynamic activity. They can have some, games, some painting, but it's time to be with your team. To talk about the day, to see what's going good, what can be better, etc. It's like a relaxed time, okay? But in the summer, because usually school camps are all the same age. They're about 12-year-old children. It's when they end up elementary school. But for the summer sessions that we have from 7 years to 14-year-old, we have, instead of the absolute, we have what we call workshops. And that you don't have to be with your team. You don't have to be with the elephants all the time.
Okay.
You give a previous to camp, you give these options, and they enroll in what they like. For example, these workshops, we have gymnastics, we have painting, we have mechanics in the go-karts, we have more specialized climbing, we have more specialized cycling, for example. What other? We have photograph. We have different, very nice workshops. So you go, maybe in a workshop, you can be with children from the different blocks, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And after, yeah.
We have something similar here that we call interest groups. And so you are really going to pursue the thing that interests you. And then other people that are interested in those things, you'll meet them there. As you say, they'll be older and younger, and boys and girls. How do you choose? Can I go anywhere?
All our registration is online. So you get the options. So previous to camp, you get it. And there's a limited space. So if it's full, then you get another option.
Got it.
And we do, as usually the summer sessions are 2 weeks long. 1 week it's a workshop. And then the second week, you can choose a different one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got it.
There's some of them that you should stay the whole 2 weeks. For example, drama, because you need to, make the rehearsals and everything. We at camp, we have a lot of nature contact activities. Many of these workshops are in direct contact with nature. They learn to plant, to harvest, to do, for example, cheese out of the milk that they milk the cow.
Oh, great.
And all these great things.
What time is it now? This is the afternoon. You've had lunch, and then this period where you can choose.
This period where you can choose starts at about 3:15, 1 hour after lunch, and it's for about an hour. Okay, so say we're now 4:15, and we need to start the afternoon activities, which are also 3 of them.
Okay.
Three more activities, and then shower for everybody. Okay, so half of the camp go to shower, and the other ones are in activities, and then they switch. And then comes dinner time. So same dynamic for the dinner. You go into the blocks and everything. So every night is different. And after dinner, you have an activity for the whole camp, whether it's the treasure hunt, the disco night, the rally night. There's very different nights, competitions, and, astronomic observation, safari night.
So you must have some staff that are just focused on preparing each evening's program, yes?
Yeah, something everybody remembers and really likes is what we call the TV camp. So we have a special staff working on filming different things through the camp, funny things, interview with the children, making up some imitation of a movie, something funny, some jokes, some news. It's like the noticiero, which is the news of the camp, what happened today. And this is transmitted every 3 days. And children, after the night activity or before the night activity, they go to the big screen and see it, and they just love it. Everybody wants to be in the TV camp.
Well, sure, all become stars.
Yeah.
Can you comment a little bit? Clearly you've been in the industry now for many years. We're always interested to know about the bigger picture in society and also in the camping community. Could you talk a little bit about any of the challenges that are facing the camping industry, any difficulties that you're currently working with, and then how the association, where it is in its life and development? Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of challenges. Everything is very expensive now. Prices is a challenge. A lot of government obstacles is also a challenge. Didn't used to be one, but now you have everybody's over you. They have to check everything. It's sometimes difficult to work. Sometimes I feel I have a very great place where we are doing good people, we are forming good people, but sometimes the surroundings are not really helping. And that's something that you have to struggle with. I think nowadays parents, we are, because I am a parent too, we overprotect them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's good for some of the aspects, but not so good in others.
Right, right. How about this? Can you speak a little bit about the camp movement, the camp industry, and hopes for the next few years?
Yeah, sure. We've become closer and stronger as the Mexican Camp Association. We really support each other. And I think one of our hopes is to do industry more professional through standards. That's a real hope. Every year there's new camps, but they're not very well established. So we've been developing advanced standards for camps. And we would like that all camps can meet with these standards or with most of them. Because some camps work very, very hard in doing quality services and providing great experiences. The more we are all involved in this and the more camps want this, I think it would be easier. And in Mexico, camp industry, it's not at all recognized by law, by government.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So we would like, or hope is to become stronger, and that they look at us as they can look at schools as a real need for children. We had to teach government who we are and what we work for.
Right.
It's very different. For example, sometimes I enter some, town halls from the ACA, and it's incredible how the White House is behind them with all these, COVID protocols. I hope we could have some support like that. Mm-hmm. But it's us that have to do the protocols, and it's us that have to teach how to do things. But we never lose hope. I think camps will always be camps. I think camps are more necessary than ever. And I think people understand that. And the sooner or later, government should understand and support this movement.
I'm right with you. Mm-hmm. Great idea. You and I have met through various camp meetings, but first and foremost through the ICF, the International Camping Fellowship. Mm-hmm. How did you get involved? How did that start for you? I'm grateful that it happened, but I'd love to hear.
Sure, had to be through the Mexican Camping Association. I think that was the link to you.
Of course, the ICC was in Mexico in 2005.
Exactly. But by then we were already members, because I remember having our logo.
I remember it too. In fact, I have done a small seminar on how many camps in Mexico have the ICF logo on their staff shirts. And I remember yours very well.
Yes. So that was in 95, and we were already members. So the first contact, I really don't remember how it was, but we are very proud.
Yeah.
We love it. And then we met our friend Valerie, and that strengthened everything with the interchange of staff and also children. We had 5 or 6 children from Russia that came 2 years ago. That was great. And then we had staff 2 years. And we really love this interchange.
Yes.
Now we have staff interested in going to Russia this year. We already have 2 or 3 of them. And I hope this keeps growing and growing and getting strong.
Indeed. Well, this has been wonderful. I will dream of my next trip to come to Santa-Ursula, to have conchas and to watch TV camp, and to drive in the go-kart, and to ride on the flying fox.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. You will be very welcome. Always welcome. Thank you very much.
All the best. Muchas gracias.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.